Sip Squad Fly Boys, that's my logo. You already know though. It's PBS and Nation Gang, my niggas getting dodo. You pussy niggas, Frodo's fucking hobos looking so-so. 4K shot in slow-mo, haters salty like adobo. But Coco, we get loco. Hit them cashes, so no. You rap it, then we live it, cause we Stokely on the promo. We classy, Freddy, blasty, bitches, why you acting sassy? Can't stop and I won't stop. Guess I'm Diddy to your Cassie. No shiny suits, I'm spazzing. You ashy, I'm so flashy. Talking out your ass, goddammit, I'm just speaking cash shit. Haters get the shaking like they mama named the cash shit. Father, all these rap wrestlers pay homage to me bastards. Sorry, I don't claim you. That's just what this fame do. Oh, you ain't down with Dream Team. Middle finger.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Well, not all, because we're in Facebook and you got to be 18, but grown children. Welcome back to Top Rope Wrestling Talk in front of a live, not so studio audience. I am here with most of the four horsemen. Evil Evan is running a little late. We're hoping he pops in as we get going. But while we're waiting, let me introduce you to the lovely ladies of Top Rope. Of course, started with the first lady, Latina Heat, Grandma Wendy. We love.
Was it?
There it is.
We steal.
Oh, you disappeared.
We disappear as we steal. See that? I'm good.
Dom has vanished.
My title has vanished.
Whoa, where'd he go?
There it is. We steal.
His head just pops out of nowhere.
It's like, hey, WWE, what happened to that World Heavyweight title? Got it right there.
Found it.
Sorry, had to do it. And of course, the Miss Elizabeth to my macho man, the love of my life, the defending NXT Women's and AEW Women's Champion right now. So she knows a thing about picks, which we're going to get into. My lovely wife, Kathy.
Hello, nurse.
I love you. Anyway, and we can barely even have an episode of Top Rope without this man. He's the founder of Top Rope on Facebook. He's the high class mark. He's the man MJF just wishes he was as fly as. The one, the only, the legendary Thank you, darling.
Yes, I am.
And y'all know me by now. I'm the one and only, the 16-time champ, the man who stole the title, the jack of all trades, the master of absolutely none, the South Philly Psycho. I'm Dom.
Hey, damn, that's a cold ass honky.
I still can't get over that.
I love it. It's fantastic.
I love it, but since Bruce likes it, we're gonna
Hey, yo.
at the same time.
Hey, yo.
He's like, okay, better.
It's normal again.
We are back, and we are here to kick off WWE Backlash, which is a semi
Lackluster
yet interesting show. It's got an odd card. I'm sorry I didn't get a form out this week. Stuff was just crazy. And honestly, I might not stick around for the whole show. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, okay, this is weird. I'm out. But I figured since we have the time, we have the hosts, and we've all won titles, and we've all done pretty well with picks. Why don't we come back, preview the show, do some keep it or kill it, have a lot of fun, and let's jump into this Backlash card with how about something simple like Jeff Hardy taking on Sheamus after the way they've built to this gem.
This is the worst storyline they have. Like they've done some shit storylines and some stupid shit.
It's a story where you're like, that's low.
They've done necrophilia, giving birth to a hand, but That was in the 90s when that shit was funny. Like now, like being in recovery and a recovering alcoholic like that, it just turns me off and turns me away. Like
let me be real with you. This storyline is that meme that goes around wrestling groups and stuff where people say bring back the Attitude Era, and then they come back with this storyline which they would have used back then, and you're like, oh, maybe not. Like it maybe wasn't as good as you remember it. Like the matches, you know, some of the high end stuff was mwah, and the rest was kind of like this. As far as the match goes, I mean, it's relatively interesting. If I had to pick, because it's a pick'em. If I had to pick, I'd probably take Sheamus at this point.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to be back and better than ever, and you really haven't seen it yet. And if he loses to Jeff Hardy at this point, what do they do with him?
So here's the deal. This is how High Class thinks this will play out, just because of where this storyline's going and how asshole-ish they're fucking been.
It's a high class premonition, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. I see them having Jeff Hardy come out drunk or fucked up for this match, and Sheamus kicking his head off.
That could happen.
Yeah.
Or it could be like,
that's just what I see happening.
You remember the old Punk and Jericho storyline where Punk came out and pretended to be drunk and he was like stumbling around, and then when Jericho came up laughing at him, he just started beating the shit out of him. Yeah. It turns out swerve. Mm-hmm. We might get that in this match too. I could see it. You know, that's more of a psychotic premonition.
it's almost like they're punishing Jeff for Matt leaving.
Yeah.
And in a sense, it's like they're punishing Jeff because Matt left and he's doing better.
Yeah, or it's like a punishment because A, Matt left, and B, you got busted again, and that's the reason. One of the biggest reasons you're still here because you were suspended before you were injured. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, let's get the ladies' takes on this. Grandma Wendy, who would you take between these two?
It's probably going to be Sheamus. I mean, he's being set up to, like you said, he's being set up to be this newfound beastly guy. I don't have the enthusiasm for this match. It's going to be Sheamus.
Yeah.
At least you tried.
I did. Like,
throw that cake in the trash. Yeah. All right. Let's turn it over to Kathy Two Belts. Who do you think's winning this?
I'm gonna go with Sheamus as well, just because it's set up for it, and yeah, I do think that they're punishing Jeff Hardy for everything. So Sheamus it is.
Can we just acknowledge this is like the fourth time Sheamus has come back in this manner?
Yeah.
This
whole O'Doyle rules persona.
Like and the thing is every time he comes back like this, he usually wins a world title.
Usually.
Yeah,
but right now they've just got him stuck in like this weird limbo of like little guys and people he can bully and walk around screaming O'Doyle rules.
I still don't know why they broke up him and Cesaro. They were one of the best fucking tag teams they had.
They really were.
They haven't done jack with them since, either one of them, so I don't get it either. Let's see, what do we have next? Oh God, do we talk about it already? Do we possibly talk about the greatest wrestling match ever?
You want to talk about that now, or do you want to save that for the end?
We can do whatever you want, bro.
Hey, look, you've got the fucking helm, baby. You're driving the ship.
We're just passengers on it.
Since it's gonna be the greatest ever.
We're just going for the ride.
Since it's gonna be the greatest ever, we're gonna save it for last. I feel like
I've got a lot to say.
Oh, also because we've got a knock on our door from Evil Manor, so I feel like we got to get him in on the rest of the show. And I got to get to his soundbite. Give me a second. Here he comes. Here he comes. There he is. All right.
Welcome to the party.
Strings. Welcome, the evil one, to the show.
Oh my God, it's so good. Yes.
Oh look, I'm live. Hey everyone.
Yeah, we're going, dude. No, but it's wonderful to be. It's wonderful to be joined again by the man who just oozes creative machismo. The man who's so evil he's surprisingly good. the one and only Evil Evan, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so before we move on, why don't we ask Evan about the first match we talked about? Who do you think's gonna win between Sheamus and Jeff Hardy? Give us your take, give us your pick, whatever you want. Have fun.
Storytelling tells me that, you know, the good guys got to come up on top because, you know, you got to avenge the whole DUI storyline. So I would say Jeff Hardy. But because we're in this weird, like, land of nothingness pandemic where, like, stories just don't ever end, I could see Sheamus pulling a little tricky move and maybe, you know, feet on the ropes or some kind of distraction, low blow, you know? And they just further this feud because SummerSlam is still a long ways away. And we still got, I think, another pay-per-view in July. So what are we going to do in July? Why not a rematch? So I could see Sheamus doing something shady. Maybe he throws, like, some piss on the floor and, like, they slip on the apron. He does, like, a spot or something.
I was going to say, in this rivalry, the good guy threw a glass of piss in the bad guy's face. So it's a very weird story.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal in, like, many states.
It might be. It just might be. I have to look that one up. And Stat Girl's on her phone, and the backup Stat Girl is on the show. So
I don't think it is. I
don't know. It could be. Let's see what else we got here. Oh. Why don't we go to the triple threat for the women's tag team championship next? Because this is we got Bayley and Sasha, who practically everybody hates, defending their titles against Bliss Cross Applesauce, who I love, and the amazing tag team from Down Under known as Iconic.
So awesome.
My personal favorite.
Hey, I gotta say what's up to my boy John. He's watching. What up, homie?
Is that Lime? Wow, hey Lime.
No, it's a different John.
Oh, it's a different John. I thought you meant Lime Cassidy. Whatever. Hi, John. Hey.
No, I think Lime Cassidy's working right now. Different John.
We love
all about
different
it.
John. I don't know. So who wants to kick off? Who do you think is going to pull this win out in this triple threat?
I honestly want the Iconics to win because this goes back to our talk last week about real tag teams in the women's division, and they're technically the only real tag team, even though me and Wendy and Evan made up a tag team that would be fucking perfect.
Oh, Shotzi and Ruby.
Shots of Riot.
Yes.
Or Riot Shots.
The Punk.
That tag team would be amazing.
The Punk
because
Princesses.
they fit so well together.
Yeah.
But no, I actually, honestly, I see this being a decent match, and I'm just picking the Iconics because they're a real tag team.
Now remember, winner of this match has to defend on NXT against Shotzi and Tegan too. So
it needs to be Shotzi and Ruby. Damn it.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but you know,
are you
WWE don't know.
WWE ice cream bar?
No, actually, it's one of the pink chocolate Magnum bars. Like one of the baby. They say Magnum, but it's like tiny.
Magnum, huh?
Oh, Wendy, you're costing me money. You're costing me money. She's over here like, "Whoa, you need to go to the store after this." And get me that Rocco's Modern Life T-shirt while you're.
This is awesome.
It's a button-up. Excuse you. I have buttons.
Yo, what up, Peter?
Peter's here.
Oh, even she said it. What's up, Peter? All right, so
that's my evil monkey from Family Guy. For Peter.
dun, dun, dun. Wait. Give us the pose one more time, Evan. Give us the evil monkey.
He's got his hat down, his head down, his face is black, just like the monkey. All you can see is like the bottom and the shadow. That is the best evil monkey ever.
Oh God, we're so stupid.
We're awesome.
Yeah, we're awesomely stupid. Grandma Wendy, who do you think is gonna take this triple threat match? Who's gonna be the
Iconics.
next? Oh,
Iconics. Give it to my girl.
All right. Next woman, the second lady of Top Rope now.
It's fine.
Who do you have?
Hey, Hope's watching.
Oh,
You got
Iconics!
Hey.
Hope. What's happening? Check in.
Yeah, I'm going with Iconics because I love them. They're cool.
Everybody loves them. I love them until they speak.
Well,
That's
yeah.
the best part is when they
I love
speak,
them most
though.
when they
isn't.
speak.
Oh,
No, just
Instagram.
put
ears
them on,
bleeding.
Yeah.
Help.
Oh, I love that though.
Put them on
With their
mute.
screechy voices, they're so great.
They are the audio version of like Thanos' gauntlet. They just start talking and I just start fading.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you had to be stuck in a room with one or the other, either the Iconics or Lana, you got to be stuck in a room with them for 8 hours. Who are you getting stuck with?
Iconics.
Because there's 2 of them.
More fun. I'm stuck
you
in
can't
the
say
room.
anything though.
I'm stuck in a room
You're
right
stuck in
now
that
with with a grandmother and my wife. So Iconics is an upgrade.
Well, they get to talk for 8 hours. You have to sit there in silence listening to them.
I'll sneak some earplugs in and smile and nod.
I'll just focus on how pretty they are.
What are they wearing?
Yeah.
Burlap sacks.
Okay.
Marilyn Monroe made that work.
I can rip a burlap sack.
Because it's true. You guys are the worst. The worst.
I'm iconically worse.
and yet you come back every week to hang out with us.
I do, because I love it.
As well as our lovely live audience on Facebook. Thank you guys.
Hey, Felipe's here.
Yeah.
What up, Felipe?
Hey.
What is going on? All right. Let's see. We got the girls. We got the
Evan.
I call it Evan. Okay, Evan. Who do you think's going with this?
Once again, we're in that like filler pay-per-view mode where like nothing even matters for a while. So Sasha Bailey retain it. There's the heels. Maybe she hits her with the women's title, get the SmackDown belt, gets involved. She maybe is gonna smash Alexa in the head.
Maybe Sasha finally uses like that forehead as a weapon.
She just bam.
I just feel like it just being like we're like in like a stagnant period until we really build up for SummerSlam when we can get fans back and we can be there.
And by the way, Sasha, I know I'm not like. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it, dude.
By the way, Sasha, I know I'm not like Robert Stone or anything, but if I give you a little creative advice, steer her to the skid with that forehead. Just own it. Just be in the reboot of the Cloneheads movie and you star, or Coneheads movie and you star in it. Like something, just own that shit. Steer into that skid. People will love you for it. Your finishing move is a diving headbutt from now on. You know, it's the lethal forehead. All right, so we got Evan. I got it. This is tough because I basically want anybody but Bailey and Sasha to win. Like I will be happy with that. Like if Iconics do, cool. But I love them. I love my goddess. I gotta go with Bliss Cross applesauce. They've grown on me. Every now and then, Nikki's shirt busts open. That's a nice look. They're very talented. They've definitely gelled as a team. They've been together for a while now. I hope they pull it off. I hope they get their belts back.
It's funny because right when you said they've been together a while, they're starting to gel. That's when I was about to interject with, and now's the time when WWE fucking breaks them apart.
Yep.
Right. Now's when the swerve comes.
Yeah, now Nikki takes the pin, Alexa gets mad, they get a little, evil stare off or something. I can see it happening. Because WWE does that, right? When something's getting really good and ripe and juicy, they squash it.
You're like, oh, I'm really starting to like this. Oh, now it's time to break it up.
Oh no, Kathy left.
Yeah, the little psycho woke up, so somebody had to grab him. And she doesn't know how to host and work all this shit, so you're stuck with me. Sorry, guys.
So Peter came on in the chat, and he says I can't see them taking them back or talking about the belts off Sasha and Bailey. I think they will lose, but it will lead to Sasha turning on Bailey. Another Sasha turning on Bailey.
You know how many times
again?
You know how many times one of us have said Sasha's going to turn on Bailey going into a WWE pay-per-view? Like one of her title defenses. Every single time for like 6 months now.
Every time.
I don't want Sasha turning on Bailey. I want Bailey turning on Sasha. I want the true heel
Sasha to be
Bailey
the
that we
sympathetic.
deserve. The real,
Yeah.
the true heel Bailey that we deserve is what I want. This is the
Yeah.
Karen Bailey
I
that
can
we
see-
don't want. I want the real friggin' heel.
I can see
Sorry.
next month, in some kind of Bailey walk off and be like, "Bitch, I got my belt. Do these, side belts." And Sasha will be like, "Why?" All sympathetic, get beat, and then that could lead to like SummerSlam or something. I can see that.
But we have been saying,
Nostradamus, my crystal ball.
probably all year we have been saying like, oh, this is the pay-per-view where one of them turns on the other, and they just don't. And you're like, okay, any day, anytime, whenever you're ready. You're like, nope, not yet. Nope, not yet. Nope,
They
not
just
yet.
pulled the trigger already. Like,
I feel bad now. I'm covering Braun. Like, maybe I should sit to the side, cover Bailey.
Watch a bit low.
So anyway, guys.
On a totally unrelated random note, but I just have to throw this out there. Every now and then in the right angle, it looks like Wendy's wearing like a samurai hat with the fucking Taco Bell. Yeah. It just looks like she's right there.
And it's
Awesome.
fabulous, by the way. But he's not wrong.
I'm just waiting for like Logan to come and start trying to fight him and shit.
Logan. Hey, that's tonight's show, not this
Speaking
afternoon.
of which,
Stay tuned for rejects tonight.
Anyway, what match is next? What we got next?
Ghost Rider reboot talk on that show.
Oh, there's a lot to talk about on that show right now. But that's another show. We're gonna move into something else. What do we have? What's a good? Where's a good place to go? We're in tag teams.
Hold on.
How about the tag team?
One moment. One moment. I got Facebook here.
Okay.
Andrew came in with $1 million question.
Andrew.
Does Otis cash in tonight?
Ooh.
Too soon.
I'm gonna say if he does,
maybe
he's gonna
comes out
fail.
on commentary. Him and Mandy come back on the ramp or something, just in the back on the watch.
Yeah, I would say if he cashes in tonight, he's going to fail because we haven't talked about Miz and Morrison yet. But I just don't think they have enough to really do a lot of damage to Braun. Period.
Yeah. Okay.
Like they can fuck up the windshield in his car with a baseball bat. That's about it. Unless they can bring that bat to the ring, I don't see Otis cashing in successfully.
I still have a feeling that I think he's gonna hand the briefcase over to Mandy and be like, "Come on, baby, you go get the belt," and then she's gonna cash in on Bailey one day.
Like, yeah, I'm with Bruce though. Like that Braun's car,
fucking sweet.
It was awesome. I want to take it and like paint it up nice, and maybe put some hydraulics in it, turn it into a lowrider, that kind of stuff. Oh, look, here's my child. Come here, child. Come here. Say hi to everybody. Say hello.
What's up, little psycho?
Little psycho's awake. What's happening? He's like, feed me, daddy. I'm a little busy. I know. I'm sorry, dude. I love you too. Get the whole family in one show. It's never happened before. There you see it. We're the Psycho Clan. Welcome to Top Rope. Yeah, it's a great question. I could see him cashing in since this is, again, kind of like a filler pay-per-view, and I don't think they're very serious about Otis being a champion. So I could see, building Braun as like he beats these two guys, but then they beat him down afterwards, maybe with baseball bats, and he's looking hurt, and then Otis comes running down, and Braun gets mad, just squashes him in a couple of minutes. So now all of a sudden Braun looks super strong going forward in this what would appear to be a rematch with The Fiend and not Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
After Bray Wyatt was betrayed again at, say, SummerSlam. So it builds Braun up. It makes him look stronger. So when The Fiend does appear, this match looks epic. I don't know if that's the answer you want, Andrew, but that's the one I got. I guess since we're already bringing it up, should we talk about this Universal title match?
Why not? This
Miz and Morrison
versus
match? Yeah, Miz and Morrison versus Braun Strowman. Does anybody see Braun Strowman losing tonight? Because I don't.
No. I see them making Miz and Morrison a fucking joke.
They already are.
They literally took the greatest Intercontinental Champion in fucking history and paired him with another amazing wrestlers and turned them into frat boy jokes.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Frat boy jokes, and like somehow street thugs with awful names that sound like they should be in bad pornos, like Johnny Drip Drip. What the fuck?
Johnny they're not even
Drip's
like frat
telling
boys.
dad
They're like,
jokes, and he ain't
that's
even
what
a
I was gonna
dad.
say. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh,
They're
bless
not
you,
even
kiddo.
like frat boys. They're like
Bless you.
old frat boys that are trying to relive their prime. And it's like, no, just stop.
That worked the first time around when you guys were in your 20s.
Exactly.
Like,
and even
it
then,
didn't
it was
even back
douchey.
It was like a bad made for Netflix comedy with like bad jokes and a laugh track and then like green slime. Like, come on.
I can't. Yeah. It's like, is this, you can't do that on television or some shit? Like, what's with the green slime? It was. It really was. I loved it when I was a kid, but now I'm middle aged. I'm not really into it in the middle of my SmackDown. I'm just saying. Like, should Alanis Morissette have come out and thrown the slime on them? That might have made it feel a little bit more nostalgic.
I'm just trying to think back to like the great, like Steamboat and Flair. Like, I don't remember Flair dropping green slime on Ricky Steamboat.
Didn't you see that match?
Big great matches, and you're epic. Especially this is like supposed to be your title feud. This is supposed to be.
Didn't
like
you see that bucket of slime on a pole match back in like TNA?
It's like it makes no sense. It's not a way to build up a feud. I get it. You have nothing to do. You have no real contenders. Give me Jomo as a single contender. Give me the mayor of Slamtown. Have him pick up a few wins along the way, doing his little, flippy, leggy, whatever they want to call it in this promotion.
Honestly, did Johnny really come back to WWE just to take over the same character he left and grew out of in the first place? After all those years?
He was up there. Lucha up there. Impact up there. WWE slime.
So Felipe came on and he basically said Bruce Pritchard's making it look like a bad MTV reality show with those guys.
He really is.
Yeah.
You're right. It's a knockoff of Jackass.
You're absolutely right, dude. And I can't wait to see what Bruce has in store for Raw.
Oh yeah.
Nothing like a company yes man to make your show even better. We're gonna get Russo next. Like, what's going?
Actually, he's rumored to be working with Impact.
Oh no! Please no.
Seriously, like serious rumor, like working with Impact.
Like, seriously, no, please no.
Oh, hell no.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Impact. Please. Scott D'Amore, you're smarter than that.
Russo's so terrible. I wouldn't even trust him with, to babysit kids.
I certainly wouldn't trust him with my kid.
I wouldn't trust him with that. I wouldn't trust him with my cat.
I might trust him with my cat, but it's not technically my cat, so that's not saying much. All right, let's move on
Felipe,
to.
I think we're all with you, man. We're all pretty sad for Raw right now. We're all in the same boat, man.
We really are. Now, is this Felipe or is this Mr. Jean-Pierre? Because I don't have the comments.
No, it's Felipe.
Well, CWO, baby, we love you. We're gonna try to get you on this show too, so we'll work that out. Because that dude, he's a lot more of a big deal than we are. Thank you for watching. Let's move on to a match that actually might be more interesting. How about the U.S. title match? Apollo Crews taking on Andrade with the lovely Zelina Vega.
This should be a good one.
Wait, is my wife in the room? Hang on. Shh.
Hello, nurse.
Okay, moving on. Oh, yeah, she was back there, but she stared at her phone, not paying attention. Okay, we're good.
This
one should be good.
Yes, I agree. I was going to say, this is going to be the match of the night.
Definitely.
This match right here is going to steal the show and make the greatest wrestling match look like an indie match. Like,
I'm sorry, I tried not to laugh.
Honestly, like they already did it on SmackDown. So
we're gonna get to that.
No, this is probably gonna be the match of the night. I see these two laying everything out there like an NXT, like those two are gonna go out there like a takeover, and leave everything out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna love this match. I don't know how long I'll stick around after this match, to be honest. Just depending on where it falls in the card. But Apollo versus Andrade is going to be great. I know they say there's no automatic rematches, but lo and behold, here we are. It's still great match. I'm going to say, as hot as he's been, as good as he's done during the pandemic, Apollo keeps his title.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody? U11?
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, okay, I would say yeah, logic dictates Apollo. Yeah, but the thing is, supposedly Apollo was one of Heyman's guys. That Heyman had, seen the light and wanted to push. Heyman's out the door. Now we're saying that right. Richard and Vinnie Mac are now going to be pulling their guys back on top. Who's Andrade hooked up with? That's Vince's golden girl. So I could see them putting the belt back on him to help that power couple out. But I don't know. It's like I said, you trust the dirt sheets? Do you not? If I'm going pure storyline, Apollo, he should take this win. He should build up the momentum, pick up a couple wins. I could see perhaps Angel Garza and the other guy, the Austin guy, them ringside maybe causing some confusion amongst themselves, causing dissension amongst them because that's,
I know he and Angel are not exactly seeing eye to eye since that triple threat number one contender match.
Start forming this really good faction, right when they're building up a team, what are we gonna do? Let's smash them and let's form the dissension. So I can see them furthering that. Maybe he comes out and pulls off the pants to distract them or something. And
I could definitely see something leading to like a Garza Andrade feud down the line, which wouldn't be bad either. So, I got to go with Apollo. I do. I mean, Paul decided he wanted to push Apollo, and dude was right because throughout this pandemic, he's been one of the lone bright spots on Raw every week. So,
has that whole Zelina Vega stable, crumbled already?
Pretty much. Austin Theory left.
Theory's with Seth.
Yeah, and then we had Andrade and Angel Garza in a triple threat for the number one contender spot with Kevin Owens. And they kind of fell apart in that match, but Andrade managed to win it anyway. So I could see this whole thing just kind of crumbling.
That sucks because I had a good stable written all over.
You don't have to have a gauntlet. You can see it just.
Flash it.
Oh, we've got something good going?
Flash it.
Every time.
Yeah, I definitely, every time you just see the same kind of thing happen with factions, it's sad, but at least the Messiah got another disciple.
I'm happy about that. That's where Austin Theory needs to be.
It feels like a little bit more of a comfortable fit for Austin than the group he was in. So, okay, kudos there. I guess now we could jump to the tag team title match, which is finally happening. No more bowling, no more golfing, no more bullshit. Street Profits taking on War Machine. I mean, Viking, right? No, I was right the first time. War Machine. Grandma Wendy, who do you see pulling off the victory in this match?
Oh, God. In all honesty, with all the shenanigans, I've almost lost interest in it. I would like to see the Street Profits win it just because I enjoy them. They're silly, but they're fun, and they actually work really well together. But and I guess we'll see. Yeah, I'm going to give it to the Street Profits.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the Raiders have had Profits number all the way through NXT and even early on when they both debuted on Raw. It would be about time for the Profits to win one because I don't think they've ever beaten them. Not in NXT, not in WWE. They didn't even take the titles from them. They took them from Seth and Buddy. Mm-hmm. So I think they finally get that first win. It just seems like something they would put on the greatest show, Right. But yeah, I'll take the Profits. Evil Evan, who do you think is going to pull this one out?
First answer off the top of my head, I do not care because they pretty much ruined. Bowling and hot dogs and axes. I don't care. Turkey legs, too much. They ruined it. I want
shenanigans.
So we're finally getting the match, and I guess if I gotta pick one, because for a varied reason, I don't have the word. I can't think of enough. I'm too squashing it. I'm gonna say Profits win because I want to see Bianca Belair come out and celebrate and put her back on TV. And
where did she go?
Exactly. I'm glad that she didn't come out in any skits. Thank you WWE for not putting her in the bowling alley and then like serving hot dogs to them.
Oh,
or
no, I'm not
out
talking
there
about
in the
that.
evil dress. So
I
I'm
just think
glad
it
that
goes
we
back.
finally, now we need her back on TV. We need a new challenger for Asuka. So profits win, and then let's get Bianca out there celebrating with her man in the big
But it
one.
goes back to we were talking about like the Charlotte petition online and on Thursday and everything. And you know, like Charlotte gets all these opportunities on TV, right? But then Bianca Belair debuts on Raw and disappears because Charlotte gets all these opportunities on Raw. So while you're pushing Charlotte and it's probably it could be deserved, you can argue that all you want. People like Bianca who debut and seem to have potential and a bright future, you want to see where they go, end up getting pushed off TV for people like Charlotte who go to every show, every brand, and take every opportunity they possibly can. Hence why I signed the goddamn petition. You know? I mean, I don't even like Bianca Belair that much. I think she's kind of annoying, but I'd like to see her on TV. She's a good wrestler. She's got a ton of potential. You saw that in NXT. Are we ever going to get to see it on Raw, or are you just going to keep throwing Charlotte at us? We know what Charlotte can do. We're aware. That's all I'm saying. So it seems like everybody's saying the Profits are going to retain now that I've gotten that off my chest. Whew.
Well, no, not everybody.
Oh, not everybody. I'm sorry, High Class. You beg to differ.
You leaving me out. First, I'm gonna go to Facebook because we got something from our lovely viewers. Our NXT champ Brian says, even though talking about the tag match, even though this match may be a throwaway for WWE, which it kind of seems like the whole pay-per-view is, this will be the night the Profits finally beat the Raiders.
That's what I said. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
As much as I want to see
as
much as I want to see the War Raiders win, and they deserve the win after all the fucking shenanigans and stupid bullshit they've been fucking put through the last 2 months, the Profits are gonna win.
Okay,
they're gonna win. They're gonna win. They're gonna keep the titles on the Profits, and they're gonna move forward. And they have no other real.
And we're gonna get more of this. Anything you can do, I can do better. Bullshit.
So over that.
What if Profits win and then like they're shaking their hands after and then like a sign of respect and then we get like AOP running down and fucking
that would be awesome.
Oh,
I'd be okay with
that would
this.
be awesome.
You know what?
I would be okay with that.
And now that he's free, AOP with Paul Heyman.
They need a manager. They need a mouthpiece.
They had Paul Ellering. And
they had Ellering, and it was amazing.
It was amazing. And then they were like, no, we're going to kick him out, and we're going to put Drake with him.
All right, Paul, we don't want to bring you to the main roster, so
bye.
Like,
why?
No, Paul Heyman would fit awesome with those guys.
Awesomely.
He would, definitely.
I don't know if he'd be part of I don't know if he'd be part of Seth's little ministry or whatever, but if AOP breaks away and becomes Heyman, like a Heyman tag team, yeah, that would be a perfect.
Oh wow, Peter.
They could write it that, huh?
I said Peter chimed in. He said, I was hoping Profits turn on Raiders the other day and join MVP and Lashley in a stable. That would be sick.
Oh,
that would be so awesome.
Oh, that would have been good too, dude. Like, no lie. Wait a minute. Let's give him one. He earned it.
See Bianca Belair. I want to see Bianca Belair hair whip Lana.
That'd be cool too. But before we go any further, I got to give Peter one because that was awesome.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Peter. Same Brian, by the way. That we were on the same page with the Profits. So, all right. So we all think the Profits are gonna win, and we're almost through this card. We got the Universal title match. We got Apollo. We got the Profits. We got.
I know what Evan's getting at. The women's title match.
Yes. We'll start. We'll go there. We'll go. Asuka versus Nia for the Raw Women's Championship. This is
Asuka.
This is tough to think about just because I'm worried for Asuka.
Oh yeah.
Not that she'll lose, that she'll end up getting hurt because I
want to see Asuka throw in a stiff one. Like, this is for Kyrie. Yeah. This is for
I secretly want Asuka to fight real
Take it.
stiffly
How do
and
you
like
like
just
it?
give her a lesson, you know?
Yeah, dip for a
So-
potato shot.
Exactly.
So
for the
here's the
fans.
thing.
Oh.
You guys are all focused on Nia.
Right.
But
But a big but.
there's a chance
A
that
very big
Charlotte
but.
get as added to the match tonight.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
After all that shit I just said, no.
Yes.
No.
Yep. Yep. There is
Oh, hell no.
there is a slight
Not
chance,
number 67. No.
There's a slight chance that Miss Flair gets added to this match, and I'm not worried about injury. I'm worried about Asuka's title reign.
I am because, I was going to say this match with Nia is the perfect way to start bringing Asuka's background from Japan and everything else into WWE storyline. You can prove that she's a badass if she stands toe-to-toe with Nia and wins.
Yep.
It makes her look
Agreed.
insanely strong. It allows them to use Asuka and carry Raw as far as the women's division for the foreseeable future. But if you throw Charlotte in there,
everybody in this group knows who's going to be carrying Raw now, because she showed up this past Monday night. It's Charlotte. Unfortunately, she's going to get interjected into the match, and she's going to win the title.
yeah, I mean,
So lame.
I'm not saying I couldn't see it happen. I'm saying no.
Oh, I'm saying no too. I don't want it to happen.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No.
There's so
Regardless,
much
all I
more
know
you
is
can
Nia's
do.
not walking out with a belt.
No.
Nia's not, no.
I'm saying Asuka wins.
Well, Nia.
If we're between these
no
two,
Nia.
Asuka wins.
If
I don't
it's
even care if Charlotte gets in there. Asuka wins.
if it's a singles match, Asuka's gonna win.
I mean, I can see it being a singles match,
Agreed.
and then at the end, like Charlotte coming in
Interjecting.
and yeah, or like fighting her, so to speak. Not fighting her.
Cashes
You know
in
what I
her
mean?
fake Money in the Bank and makes Asuka have a second match.
No, I don't even know what I'm thinking.
I just want to see Kyrie. I just want to see Kyrie Sane on her little recorder again. That was adorable. Little song in the back.
It was like she had a teddy bear.
Like a little victory chant after Asuka wins for her. Like, you
Oh, the victory flute.
Yeah, that was bad. Put her whole
I don't know.
album out.
I saw
Kyrie
that and I
plays
thought,
the
hey,
flute.
Kyrie, I got a flute you can play. Oh!
Yeah, Mac, that does seem like the WWE way to add Flair in that match. That does, and the reason I bring it up is because it is something that they would do. Like if I wouldn't have thought, if I wouldn't have thought anything about it, like, yeah, okay, that's not going to happen. If it was someone like, I don't know, like Lana or Naomi or someone like that, I wouldn't have even paid no mind to the article and everything that I've read about it. But it was Charlotte. So
right.
her name holds weight to being thrown into a title match.
And she gets stuck into everything. She's like the cranberry of juice. Just, oh, you got a title match? Why don't you put Charlotte in it? Like, okay, great, we get it. She's good. Whatever. There's other people. There's Asuka. There's Bianca. There's all these women on Raw. You don't need her. You just don't.
Brian basically says Asuka needs to literally kick the living shit out of Nia and go all stiff on her and just beat the tar out of her for real for what she did to
Again,
Kyrie.
We're right here, Brian. We're right here. We're like Brian and Stewie. We're
Felipe makes a good point. Like he makes a solid point here. He's like, he's not angry for Nia's mistakes in the ring, but it's annoying. It's annoying him for Nia being arrogant about it.
Right.
Being arrogant about her mistakes in the ring.
It's not the mistakes, it's that she never really seems to learn from it. She just adds it as part of her like reputation or gimmick, and eventually, enough is enough. You know,
people ain't gonna want to work with her.
No one's gonna because people will stop working with you, and then what?
She's unapologetic for all the wrong reasons.
Yes.
Yeah, I think like I would give her some more credit, or I'd be a little more sympathetic for her if I were to see her like on Instagram videos of her trying to run the ropes and working the legs up. Like, trying to perfect. You're really showing us that you're making steps. Instead, we get TikToks of her like dancing in a bikini and shit, wasting away. Like, come on, girl. Like, improve your craft. You're bad. Don't just laugh about it. Get better, please.
Yeah.
Hey, we can't forget about Shayna being left off TV as well.
That's not, again,
Mac brought
because
that
hey,
up.
Charlotte,
Yeah. Hey, look, blonde boobs. TV time.
Yeah,
right?
they're saying
I'd rather see Shayna.
the grain of salt sheets basically saying Shayna's being left off TV because she doesn't have the look.
Exactly.
She doesn't have.
It's like we said this week. What they want is these pretty ladies that don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, Shayna.
And they don't
needs to go to another. I would love to see her in Stardom.
They want pretty ladies or supposed pretty ladies who look the part, and this is why you're losing viewers. Because people don't tune in anymore for the Divas division. We're not looking for bra and panties matches. We're not looking for, I mean, it's nice when you see somebody who's hot, but at the same time, you want to see what people can do. You're at least we look at these women as wrestlers first because that's what we were supposed to do. That's part of the revolution, right?
Yep.
So then continue with the revolution.
Yeah, that really did die.
And stop trying to resurrect the Divas division. That's all.
Oh no, Divas division is coming back full fucking strength.
We're gonna have that goddamn title again.
The revolution or evolution that the women's division had for a good 7 months is dead and gone already. It's dead and gone already. Like with one pay-per-view, they could have made that pay-per-view a yearly event. It
would have been awesome.
They really could have.
It would have been awesome.
It would.
They could have taken away one of these shitty Backlash or one of the pay-per-views and given the women their pay-per-view once a year.
I would be far more excited.
The Mae Young Classic. What happened to the Mae Young Classic?
Right?
They haven't done it yet this year, but I believe they're still doing it.
I think they're going to do it. They just had the COVID thing kind of put the brakes on it. I would be more excited if we were doing an Evolution kickoff right now than a Backlash.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's just being real with y'all.
That pay-per-view was amazing.
Like, did you see how excited I was for TakeOver? I would be that excited for Evolution. This one, I'm like, meh.
Like we said in the beginning, lackluster.
Yeah. All right, so we have 2 matches left, and I guess we're going to save the greatest for last. I can't do it, y'all. The next one is the WWE title match. Drew McIntyre defending against Bobby Lashley with MVP in his corner. And this one is actually something to look forward to because they built it up nice. They've turned Bobby back into more of the destroyer that he was coming in to WWE when he came back. They've gotten Lana kind of out of the picture almost entirely. Yay.
When I think of Lana, I just think of that line in Dirty Dancing, no one puts baby in a corner, and I'm like, but everyone puts Lana in a corner.
But everyone, everyone tells Lana to get the fuck out. There's a difference.
Like,
She's the opposite of baby.
Go back to your corner, Lana.
She's like, get over there. Shut up. Get over there.
Put her back in her cage.
Now. Oh, man. Yeah, like, unlike Bobby Lashley, my wife comes on and actually entertains you. So there's that. But as far as the match goes, this could be damn good because we've kind of seen these two before in a ring, and it was good then. I can only imagine it could be good now if they really want to run with it. But it's almost hard to pick a winner. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
because like
that I have most trouble with.
Bobby seems to be on that arc.
Yeah.
You know, since MVP came along, Bobby seems to be on that arc where he's kind of raising his game and getting to be that destroyer that he always was. And is that enough to take out Drew? Probably. But will they do it?
Not yet.
You got to also remember that, like you guys were mentioning, Lana's that like X factor where she said on Raw, I think it was like, oh yeah, like watch, I'm gonna step up my game or some kind of convoluted message
and
saying that she was gonna do something. So I could see her
not
trying
only
to be
that,
like, I'm gonna prove I got something to prove to Bobby, and she's gonna try to go out there and try to win the match
and
for
screw
him,
him.
but cost him the match. Or maybe she does come out there, distract the ref, gives Bobby the win, then she looks at MVP and says, "What you got now, homie? I got my man to win." You know what I mean? It
Right.
can go either way, and that's why this match is so like
And going
intriguing.
back to Andrew's question, it would be crazy if this was like a knockdown drag out and I don't know, let's just say Drew manages to keep his title, but he's just laid out in the middle of the ring and you see Otis and Mandy running down.
Yeah.
I'd be
He
so
asked
pissed
if
that happened.
Otis would cash in. I would be kind of mad too. Like, you have this war and you're just
Kinda.
like, man, I can't wait to see where this goes. And then all of a sudden you hear Otis's music and here comes him and Mandy dressed in her best Jamie Presley gear,
Oh, snap.
Like, woo. Oh, could you imagine that? Like Otis with the WWE Championship and Mandy.
That could work because they did introduce that. Didn't they just
I'd be mad.
introduce a week or so ago? There's like that cross invitational brand where you can come over across or something or something.
Well, the Money in the Bank winner can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Can he?
Yeah,
Well,
oh yeah.
You can any world
He
title.
could go to
match.
NXT if he wanted.
Go
He
squash
could.
Adam Cole. I want to
That
squash
would be
Adam Cole. That'd
funny. Oh my God, that would be funny.
So-
Big Otis, Adam Cole.
But then, could you imagine like that? But then imagine that happens. I know we're getting off track, but imagine Otis wins the NXT Championship, and all of a sudden the lights go out, and then Killer Cross and Scarlett are standing toe to toe with Mandy and Otis. We're like, oh, they're dead. Fall and pray, Otis and Mandy. That's all you can do.
Felipe he's making a pretty valid point here, and is pretty justified. He said, what if they do a double title change between Backlash and then tomorrow on Raw just to get the ratings up? So Drew loses the title tonight and then wins it back on Raw.
No, that's great, Felipe, because like honestly, I would be glued to my screen at that point, like, oh, what's gonna happen? Yeah. It would pull me in, but I'm technically watching already.
Like here's the thing. In this match for me, like my heart tells me Drew's gonna win, but there's other reasons that says Bobby's gonna win. Yeah. There's outside reasons why WWE could have Bobby win. But either way, I wouldn't be mad. I like both of these guys. I want to see Drew keep the title. If Bobby's going to win the title, I would love to see it happen at SummerSlam.
Right.
On a bigger stage and with
I would at least love to see Drew get one pop from a live crowd before he loses the title. Yeah. I think he deserves that.
He does get a pop from a live crowd.
Not wrestlers. I'm sorry, not wrestlers. Trainees.
But yeah, if you do the
I gotta
quick
tell you
switch
guys,
back on Raw, you definitely get a chance to get him with the live crowd again.
There's at least two people in here who will tell you that Malcolm Bivens, not a fucking trainee. Shotzi Blackheart, not a fucking trainee.
Not a trainee.
Maybe some of those people are, but there's a lot of people in that crowd who are not trainees. Just saying.
Very true, Felipe. We do actually have a reason to watch this title match.
We do. There's plenty.
This is like one of two matches that is like I want to see. There's literally only two matches I want to see.
Here's the thing, guys. We're talking about this. We haven't even picked. None of us have picked a winner in this match yet. Not one. Yeah. And we've been talking about it for a good 10 minutes. So there's plenty of reasons to watch. But it's also hard to pick. I'm gonna say Drew manages to keep the title tonight, and they build towards maybe another SummerSlam rematch or something. If we take all the bells and whistles and we just focus on these two, and you're putting a gun to my head, I'd say Drew. But it would not surprise or disappoint me if Bobby pulls it off at all. I mean, he's been this guy that they've been building the last few weeks, months on Raw his whole career. He's been that guy. He proved it in Impact. He proved it when he showed up at WWE in the first place. And this is what he should be. I'm just hoping we don't end up with like what the dirt sheets have reported, that like Bobby wins the title and then at SummerSlam it's him versus Brock. Like, fuck Bork. Put these guys in the ring. These two almost have that potential of like Cena and Edge back in the day, where they like traded title runs and had these long epic feud. Talk with my hands. I'm Italian. I'm sorry. Long epic feud where they traded title runs back and forth. So many times you almost lost count, but at the same time, you were interested. You wanted to see those matches. You wanted to see what was going to come next, where the story was going to turn, that sort of thing. This could be Bobby and Drew in that same kind of scenario where they just keep having wars and they keep getting better and better, and the story keeps building and building, and the title keeps changing hands until there's finally like one definitive winner, and that just raises that person's bar like it did with Edge,
Now, my fucking creative juices are flowing today. I got like the Evil Evan creative going on.
I know, it's like we got a contact high from Evil Evan.
like here's the thing.
I knew something smelled like pine cones in here.
So Drew, we've been talking about how Bobby's slowly been building back to that monster persona. He's slowly building it up, right? Yeah. He's slowly building up that monster gimmick. What if tonight is the night Drew McIntyre wins, but really opens that can of worms with Bobby Lashley, and he goes on like a month or 2 month tear with like destroying people, like, and I'm not talking about jobbers, I'm talking about
like legit
Miz,
contenders.
Morrison, legit wrestlers, like just goes out there and friggin' destroys them, and the whole time Drew's in the background like, you ain't got nothing for me, you're nothing, I beat you once, get the hell out of my title picture. And Bobby just keeps building this persona, and then at SummerSlam, that's when he takes the title from him.
Yeah, I could see that happening, actually.
I would love that.
And it just makes Bobby even madder.
No, so either way, I would love to see Drew versus Bobby like turn into one of those storylines like I was talking about. You could say Edge Cena, maybe not Orton Cena. That got played out after a while. After a while, you were like, okay, we get it, move on. But yeah, have them, build like that same Edge Cena kind of storyline that just goes over like all the pay-per-views, and the title changes hands, and each time it seems to become a bigger fight or a bigger feud, or there's more emotion, there's more involved. And yeah, I would love that. No doubt, I would love that. Just don't add Bork. Whatever you do,
keep home.
Do not add Bork. That's all I'm saying. All right, so do we have like a definitive winner coming from either Grandma's House or Evil Manor?
I think check this out. I think Bobby locks in his Bobby lock or whatever they call that, the master Bobby lock, and he's gonna get him. Right? Drew's gonna go cold. The ref's gonna go for the bell, ding ding ding. Ghana, everyone comes out running. We think we have a new champ, but he doesn't let go because he snapped. He's going.
Oh,
crazy,
he just keeps holding it.
Yeah, and then we get a
gets DQ'd.
Reverse. Yeah, or Drew Drew gets his foot onto the rope or gets into the corner, but he doesn't want to let go, and so
and he gets disqualified.
We get Backlash.
I can see that.
Boogaloo too.
No, that's good. I can see that happening. I like that. I like that a lot.
Lana comes out and he wants to impress Lana. He says, "Look, baby, look what I can do," and he doesn't let go or something.
No.
Babe, look what I can do.
Guys do crazy things.
Look what I can do. Look at me.
Yeah, look what I can do.
Look, Lana, no hands.
Yeah.
No, I got to give it to him for that.
I want to see all I know is I want to see the return of Bobby Lashley with the. Remember that one? Remember? Bobby Lashley? I know you guys remember Fat Bobby Lashley. I want the throwback. I want Lana to
the
walk
Leo
down,
Rush. The Leo Rush managed Bobby Lashley.
Oh God, that was horrible.
Is there like hampers on his pants, butt, or something? Or was I
talk about two guys so talented getting put together, and it never could, and it couldn't have gone any worse. It couldn't. Leo, pretty much, but like Leo, hell of a talent. Bobby, tremendous big talent, big muscle bound talent. Put the two together and just.
Let's have him pat his ass.
Because anything can happen in WWE.
Oh, that's good shit. Slap your ass, Bobby. Good shit. Good shit. Slap your ass, Bobby.
Oh, go out there and slap your ass. It's going to be such good shit. It's an attraction.
Wendy.
She's trying not to die.
Wendy, just imagine all of us.
Part of Grandma Wendy is trying not to die, and then part of her is going, "Oh my God, I do shows with these people."
All right, Wendy, who do you got in this match?
I'm gonna go with Drew, but I can see Lana costing Bobby the match somehow. Like they're gonna go like two rabid bulls just right into it. It's gonna be a great matchup, and then Lana's gonna get in there trying to be like, "Oh, my Bobby, blah blah blah." Somehow she's gonna get hurt or something, or she's gonna get him DQ'd, one or the other.
And then she's gonna start hanging all over Drew with a "Hey, go fuck yourself," and Drew's gonna look at her like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
It's hard,
Like,
like for us. I don't know about the comments because I don't have them up, but it's hard for us to just pick a straight winner. Like, oh, it's gonna be Drew, but he might get DQ'd, or Lana might screw Bobby, or something like. You can't see like a definitive winner between these two, and that's what makes it so goddamn interesting. It's one of the few interesting matches at Backlash. And I guess speaking of interesting matches at Backlash, all we have left is the greatest wrestling match ever.
Ever. Dun, dun, dun,
Ever.
dun, dun.
Like, fuck what you've seen.
Boom, 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 boom.
Ever.
I guarantee you they do that before the match.
Between Edge and Randy Orton. Okay, before we pick anything.
Look at us all jump.
I know. Nobody
everyone's like, "Oh my God, oh my God." No.
I'm going to give you something that will have you all chiming in. Keep it or kill it. Edge versus Randy Orton will be the greatest match ever.
No.
Kill it, burn it with fire.
See how they all jumped in, folks?
Hot dumpster fire.
God, yes.
Kill that shit. And now that we've all, and now of course, since we've all killed it, let that fucking match.
Like, okay.
And speaking of which, this match will not even be as good as either one of the HBK versus Taker at Mania. So it will definitely not be the greatest ever.
Now,
it won't even be the greatest this week. The Friday SmackDown, AJ Daniel Bryan,
We're getting to that too.
I wonder who came out with this concept too, Felipe. I wonder too.
Yeah. And how, you know what I was gonna say? How horrible was it having to hear Charlie Caruso every week?
I mean, since we're all about like stretching the truth, let me just cut in and say, hey guys, you've been watching the greatest wrestling YouTube show and podcast ever.
Yes, this is the greatest T-shirt ever worn in a podcast.
Notice how I said that without laughing.
Hey,
the greatest light bulb in a podcast ever.
You know what's fucked up is Felipe is making a pretty damn good point here. He said, but in 20 years, when you
bless you.
You good?
Thank you. Yeah.
So Felipe says, but in 20 years, when you Google the greatest match ever, guess what's gonna pop up? Edge and Orton. Because of the title of the match.
Because it's titled that.
Yeah, because it's titled that way. Doesn't mean that it is.
But that's the
we all know Google has never been wrong ever.
Okay. I'm gonna talk about this.
Woosah.
1, WWE, you are single-handedly killing cinematic matches.
Facts.
2, this match will not be the greatest wrestling match ever because it took you over 15 hours to film it, so therefore it will not be the greatest wrestling match of all time.
Facts.
And if you were to put wrestlers in the greatest match of all time, these two would not be two that I pick.
They wouldn't even be special guest referees.
No, like these guys. They're great. They're great in their own rights and what they've done in the business and in the industry for the industry and everything. They're great.
Wonderful.
But you can't
Hall of Famers.
You can't put one of them already is. You can't.
One of them already is.
both of these guys together and say, hey, we're going to put on the greatest match ever, and then film it in 12 or 13, 15 hours. That's not the greatest wrestling match ever. That's a movie. You're filming a movie. You want the greatest match ever?
It's not even going to be the greatest movie ever. Okay.
You want something to come close to the greatest match ever? Go back a couple years to NJPW and watch Okada and Omega. That's how you put on the greatest match ever. Something like that in the ring, not scripted, not filmed.
You could come
not
up with
cinematic.
dozens. We could come up with a lexicon.
Many more matches.
Okay, of greatest matches above this match. We could come up even when it's over. We could come up with a whole lexicon that stretches across my house of matches.
Like Jericho, that list. Jericho was like
yes, and this match would be at the very, very, very
people who know
very,
Angry
very,
Trace.
very
Oh wait,
bottom.
wrong lexicon. My bad, guys. I'm gonna put that away.
Dude, I'm a stupid
idiot.
Brody Lee and John Moxley's title match above this fucking match. And they just had that 2 months ago.
All right, since he's wearing the scarf, I gotta say it. Will this match even be as good as MJF and Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing?
Hell no!
That was a good
match was off the chain.
Give me the scarf.
God. Not even close here, bro. Like not even.
Would you
close.
go so far as to say that even the graveyard match was better?
I hate that match, and yes, that match will be better. I hated that match. I freaking hated it, and it's probably gonna be better.
Facts.
That's in the past.
Yeah, we're not gonna open up that old can of worms.
We beat that horse dead.
You can go find that.
There's nothing left of that horse. That horse has been so beaten. There's nothing left of it.
You can go find that.
There's not even bones.
Hold up, you can go find that debate on Fox Den Productions at YouTube. Just search our Top Rope Wrestling Talk playlist, and don't forget to subscribe.
Go back to the WrestleMania.
Click that little bell. Click the bell for notifications.
Do all that shit. You know what to do.
The Rock Mankind at King of the Ring is going to be better than this fucking match.
How about Taker Mankind Hell in a Cell?
Look, we just literally named off at least 15 matches. We're rattling them off.
And I don't think this match is going to be as good as any of them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all better than this match is going to be.
Even the final beat might have been better.
And we're not mentioning the greatest match ever.
What
about
I'm not knocking
Melina?
It has nothing to do with like Edge or Orton. They are great, but there is no way in hell. There is no chance. This is the greatest match ever. Period. I'm the psycho, and I approved all this shit.
And you know what?
I'm sorry. We get Brian just fucking killed me. He said, "Fucking kill it." On Fox last month, WWE just replayed WrestleMania 3 with Savage Steamboat, and which match had both Taker, Edge, and I'm sorry, I love you. What in the blue hell are they smoking?
Thank you, Brian, and we'll kill it for you right now.
Felipe, I'm gonna get to that question after we've all gone through this match. That's a good question.
That's
a good question.
Let's try to bring it in. Woosah real quick,
all right,
and
Edge.
pick a winner. I'm taking Edge. I don't think he's already beat him in that like 75-minute last man standing match, which will probably be better than this one. So I have no doubt that he can beat him again.
Evan, Wendy.
I care so little. I can't even pick anybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Orton does some kind of deviousness because he's the Viper, or like he gets like an RKO out of nowhere. Because the same thing. Once again, it's like that thing, the trope of the show that never ends. It's the feud that keeps going. I see them continuing this feud because in reality, when Edge came back, we had all kind of thoughts of, oh man, the amazing dream match with AJ Styles, Ricochet, all the crazy shit that he could do.
And they give
and
us.
What are we gonna get? We'll probably get.
We could get Edge versus AJ Styles, or Edge versus Kevin Owens, or Edge versus and all we get is Randy Orton.
I get it. He wants to work with someone safe. I mean, if I had a broken neck, I'd probably want to work with the most boring guy who's not gonna even like hurt me because he can't even wrestle. So I'd pick Orton too. But I can see, Orton's gonna hit an RKO out of nowhere, something, and we'll continue this feud. And it's just special guest referee next month.
Again, and I'm not picking on Charlotte when I say this because again, like Edge comes back, he's a great wrestler. There are so many people in the back that want to fight him, and yet we just keep getting Randy
Orton.
It just seems like at this point, trying to transition from Edge into like a different feud, it kind of makes no sense. The way that this has been boiling over so much, so I just see them just keep going. And if Edge wins, then it ends. But Randy wins, and we just get the never-ending stew of these
See, that's
guys.
the thing. If you guys are watching, you already know. I was digging Edge versus Cena over and over again, not Edge versus Orton. Stop that shit.
So Mac makes a great point. He goes, they set this match up for failure.
They really
Straight
did,
up,
Mac.
they set it up for failure. You're
Straight
absolutely
up.
right.
And you know what? I'm sorry. I don't personally like Randy Orton very much. And if you're in this group, you probably know that. But at the same time, Orton and Edge deserve better than to be set up for what is going to be nothing but failure. Failure. Like nobody, someone is going to have a problem with this being called the greatest match, whether it's us or anyone on social media. They are being set up to fail. Yeah. And they deserve better than that, especially after all the time the two of them put in WWE to bring it to where it's at right now. So I agree with Matt completely. The only thing we don't agree on is what team to root for. He's a Giants fan, I'm an Eagles fan, but we get along anyway because we love wrestling.
They both suck.
You suck. Patriots suck now.
We'll see about that.
Jump on that Bucks bandwagon.
Felipe's got a question for each of us, and it kind of stems off the whole greatest wrestling match of all time. And I actually feel like this is a great question for us because I don't think we've ever had this question on the show. We've ever answered it.
Oh, now I'm excited.
I was excited when you said Felipe. So he says for each of us, which are your personal greatest match ever? What is your personal greatest match ever?
It's so hard for me to not, like, I have eras. I have companies. I don't even know if I have, like, one greatest match. You know, like, if I had to say, like, WWE, the one that always there's two that always stick out for me, and they're both from, like, WrestleManias. One was HBK Ric Flair, the I'm Sorry match that ended Flair's career. And the other was, as I brought up, and I hate to keep going back to him, but HBK versus Taker at WrestleMania. I mean, pick one. They were both awesome. They were amazing. Taker went above and beyond to try to take him out in both matches, and Shawn gave it as good as he got. And he literally built it to the point where he was like, I can't lose to Taker. I can't lose to Taker. I will stop wrestling if I lose to Taker. And then when it happened, you're like, what? No. But you still love the match. It wasn't like Brock taking Taker's streak where I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, Shawn is gone, and at the same time, I'm just sitting there like, oh my god, this was tremendous.
It's funny to me that you would go with HBK because for me it was HBK Sid Vicious Royal Rumble '97. The way they built that up, and then that whole match, it was just so impressive, and it was just it was amazing to just see it happen, you know, and like the build up to it was very well done. The storyline, the rivalry.
The only thing I can think of outside of WWE for me, because I actually watched it in a crowd, and they had, you know, many matches, and all of them were great, but Malenko versus Guerrero in ECW back in the
those guys
late '90s.
Yeah,
like when they had matches, they had.
Oh my God! Like, you know, I was in the crowd. People were chanting, people were screaming, and people were doing crazy shit because it's ECW. And I was just standing there, like, in awe. I was just, wow.
Oh, you know what was an amazing one? That first, what did they call it? They didn't call it a coffin match, but it was one of the first ones that Lucha Underground had. No, the Lucha Underground. Yes. Evan knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, what did they call that match?
That match, like Vampiro says, brutal,
grave consequences.
The very first
Phoenix
match. That was my outside of the
Phoenix
box
versus
pick. That was my non-WWE pick, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Amazing. It opened the world's eyes to a genius in the ring known as Rey Fenix. Because before Lucha and before that match, he was.
Oh yeah, I mean, I knew him, but a lot of other people didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the mainstream audience.
But it got him out there in front of a bigger mainstream American audience, and people were losing their minds. And I'm just sitting there like,
and now he's like flying out of stage left, fucking kicking Orange Cassidy.
Right, at great personal risk to his own health.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
that match
that
was
was
amazing. That one was probably and then another one doesn't get a lot of credit outside the box. Triple X versus AMW.
Oh my God, that cage tag
Oh.
match.
Yeah, when Helix
Oh
Skipper walked
my
tightrope the top of the.
God.
Oh yeah.
I
Bloody,
love that
and then
match.
King
Yeah, that was a
Storm
great
was
match.
amazing. Daniels,
Everyone was
Harris,
amazing
I
in
don't know
that
what happened to
match.
that guy. He fell off the face of the earth. The other one, the other cowboy guy, but
Well, he was a
that was
little
good match.
old when TNA came around
Yeah.
too, so he kind of tapered
that one,
off.
I
But
like that
oh
one a
my
lot.
God, those four! so
That was
amazing.
So I got
It's so
a
hard to
couple.
pick one, Felipe. I want to pick one for you, but I just have so many.
So I got a couple for you guys. One of my all-time favorites, and it'll probably never change. And you guys notice a reoccurring theme here with all of us is HBK versus Brett in the Iron Man match.
Yeah.
That is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
The
Followed up by a screw job, but yeah.
Wendy, you were talking about a build-up. The build-up to that match with Sean and his freaking trainer, his childhood trainer, showing him training.
Jose.
Building
Jose, yes, Lothario.
Yeah, building up to that
Feliciano,
match.
wrong Jose.
It was freaking amazing. And then I already mentioned this match.
And then the boyhood dream came true.
The boyhood dream, yeah, Sean's first title reign. And then I already mentioned it once is any Okada Omega match.
I've already brought up
those guys had amazing
I've already
matches.
brought up a bunch, but I think if we're talking all time, at least for me, Dusty versus Ric Flair in a steel cage in NWA might be my greatest match of all time.
We also brought up TNA as well. Evan brought up the original TNA. What about the first Ultimate X match with AJ Styles? I think Sabin was in it.
Chris Sabin.
And I think
it was good.
I think Christopher Daniels. I think Christopher Daniels was the other one.
But it was damn good.
That match was off the friggin' chain. Amazing. I don't know if people realize the actual library for Impact, the original stuff, is fucking amazing.
Oh, beyond. Yes.
Another badass Impact match. Another one that has to be one of my top favorite Impact matches. I think it's the first lockdown event. It's AJ versus Abyss, where he does the slides under the cage spot, and they do a lot of.
Oh, when he does the friggin' flip through the cage door before the match even starts.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That was good.
Abyss. I want to see. I know he hasn't stepped foot ring in the WW F ring or whatever, but that dude's a Hall of Famer. He deserves for all the work that he's done in Impact.
He is.
And now behind the scenes, supposedly he's doing a lot of stuff working with the bigger guys. I would love to see him maybe get a one-off match or something at a WrestleMania just to say he got a legit WWF match.
Man.
I'd like to see him and Taker.
I
would like to see Taker come back for that match.
I would like to see that, or I would like to see Abyss versus The Fiend.
I mean, just the
and if they could get away with it, because I don't think they could, but if they could get away with it, Monsters Ball match. Exactly.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You work The Fiend and you work Abyss, and then out comes Bray. What's his name? Bray Wyatt in his little sweater vest. Then out comes Joseph Park. They both have that versatility where they have their mild-mannered alter.
Yeah.
They make a great team too.
Now that I think about it,
could you imagine Joseph Park and Bray Wyatt doing a Firefly Funhouse segment together?
The whole Fiend gimmick is a play off of Abyss. If you actually stop and think about it and look at it now that it's been brought up, Bray and the Fiend is a play from Joseph Park and Abyss.
I've never thought about it, but yeah, you're not wrong.
And I bet Abyss is behind it.
Yeah, I can see him.
I bet he's the one. He's one of the reasons for the Fiend.
Yeah.
Him and Bruce Pritchard. That's the only good thing Bruce Pritchard's brought is the Fiend.
Pretty much. It's just the rest is just kind of meh.
I think I've said it a few times in the past, but one of my personal favorites because of how ridiculous it was is the King of the Road match.
Oh, back in WCW.
Yes.
It
was
was
just
like
such
the
an
natural Dustin Rhodes and
it was just such an insanely ridiculous idea to put these guys in this like open 18-wheeler that was moving on the highway. Even that was more entertaining than what this Orton Edge match is going to be.
So
True.
Felipe chimed in on the wrestling matches for us. He said, for me, Omega versus Okada 4 is 1 hour and a half is like perfect if you watch the previous matches because every move in the ring cares. Basically, they make every move count. And and his other one is Taker and Triple H and Hell in a Cell at Mania. He said storytelling
Yes.
at its finest.
With HBK as the special guest ref. I don't. No, that's what I mean. You're not wrong. None of us are really wrong. And when that's what I'm saying. You can have a lexicon of matches that are going to be better than whatever these two put out tonight, and they're going to be stuck with that moniker, and it's setting them up to basically fail.
Yeah.
And that
Holy
sucks.
cow! Our boy Brian went off with some matches.
Uh-oh.
He went off. He said first things first. He says go on YouTube and see Kenta versus Masawa from Noah in 2003. He said
I remember that
He
match.
said that was the greatest wrestling match ever.
It really,
I've ever seen.
It could have been. Can't argue again, Brian.
Along with what you said, he said Guerrero versus Malenko in '95 was the best match in ECW ever put on.
Ever. Sabu versus Too Cold was close for the TV title as far as a wrestling match went, but yeah.
He also goes on to say AJ versus Samoa Joe versus Chris Daniels was TNA's greatest match ever.
Oh,
there were so many matches from the last few Wrestle Kingdoms that I can cook popcorn and just sit and binge watch for hours.
Yeah. Well, let's hope one day Impact gets back to that level. You know, it would only be good for wrestling.
They brought back the TNA title.
They did, and then they've kept it off TV. So go figure. Like you had a champion that wasn't on TV, so you crowned a new champion,
Nashville.
and then you take him off TV.
Go back to TNA and go back to Nashville.
But it's in any case, no matter what you say, like these matches that are being brought up even in our audience right now is I mean, they're amazing. And it's hard to think like Edge and Randy Orton are going to do anywhere near, if not better, than any of them.
Yeah.
I feel for them. It's like just don't put that on these guys. You know, they're gonna have to like rest of their careers if they fall flat and
well, they made it. They
probably will
by making it a cinematic match. They made it so that it can't go down as a bad match because there's so many takes, there's so many cuts, there's so many.
But then is it at the same time then? At the same time, then, is it really a match?
Yeah, exactly.
Because these guys that we're talking about, these guys these matches we brought up, these were straight up wrestling matches with maybe a few gimmicks, whether it be with the Ultimate X or cages or whatever, but they were actual wrestling matches in front of a live crowd. This is going to be a pre-recorded cinematic match.
Yeah.
So do we now put it in a different category?
Cut.
Do we now put it in a different category and compare it to, like Wendy said, the Boneyard match or the Firefly Funhouse match or Ultimate Deletion or whatever? Do you even think it'll be better than those?
No.
And you know what? I've seen the conspiracy theories out there that the reason that WWE is pushing these so hard and making them so lousy is so that the Stadium Stampede and the Deletion and other promotions like that, their matches won't work. Because if WWE ruins
Good
it
luck.
for fans, and they make the cinematic match get like overkill, like, and another company tries it, we're automatically going to, by default, be turned off because we're conditioned to think that these matches will be garbage.
Good luck, because other companies do it better, though. So when you look at WWE, you see them and you're like, whatever. But when
the company's promoting their main event as a cinematic match, and you're these, whether we're dropping our $50 regardless.
Oh,
But
no.
if you got that fan on the fence and you're telling them that it's gonna be a cinematic match, and their first thought is fucking Bray Wyatt, the Graveyard, and all this,
Yeah.
that $50 might not get spent. So I
Yeah,
can
but
kind of
that's
get
okay.
right.
So in
They
that,
need to tread lightly on these matches.
okay, let's test that theory though. Let's just test it. We all knew going into Double or Nothing, the Stadium Stampede was coming, and it was going to be somewhat cinematic, right?
But here's
Did
the
anybody
thing with that.
not watch it because they had already seen the Firefly Funhouse and the Boneyard match and so on and so forth? Were you not looking forward to it because you had already seen all those other things in WWE from WrestleMania on, including Money in the Bank, the practically same month?
But the thing with the Stadium Stampede match made it so much different is it didn't feel like a cinematic match.
It didn't.
It didn't have that cinematic feel, and you could still hear the crowd. They had crowd noise pumped in. So either way, it felt like a real wrestling match, even though it was cinematically done.
But
it still looked
it felt
real.
organic.
All I'm saying is, if this is WWE's mentality and you test that theory, it doesn't hold water.
No.
Because I wanted to see that Stadium Stampede match no matter what. I didn't care that WWE had already did Money in the Bank, the Boneyard match, and the Firefly Funhouse match in the matter of a few months. You were basically doing that because other companies had already did it and were planning on doing it again. So you tried to get the jump on them, and it worked to a point, but that doesn't mean we don't want to see it anywhere else unless you have a way to try to somehow make it better, which I haven't seen yet. So you can have that theory, you can go on that mindset, but once again, you're kind of thinking with your head up your ass, which is what WWE does. If they think at all.
Well, yeah. I just hope that they don't rely on these too much. I'm not a fan of like you said, I want a camera set, two guys wrestle, push play, record, whatever. I don't need cuts and let's get an editor in here and let's throw some CGI and sound effects.
Right. Like I'm watching all these I'm watching all these old like PWG matches that Evan was in the crowd for at some point. And you know, it's one camera, it's two guys, you know, that's that. And,
it's awesome.
And it's amazing. You don't have to have it's nice sometimes to get the big production, to get the pyro. I know Wendy loves pyro. So, you know, that's always good, but at the same time, you don't need it. It's always cool to get a good cinematic match, but at the same time, you don't need it, especially when you're promoting something. It's the greatest wrestling match ever.
I just hope we don't get like fucking Bruce Pritchard pulling up on a little rascal or Johnny Laurinaitis on a rascal.
I love you.
Yeah, no. I don't. That's too far. I don't want Ubers pulling up.
People power. Like fuck, just have a match. If it's gonna be the greatest match, just have a match. Just camera, ring, go.
Yep.
You don't need
but the thing
12
is
hours in editing.
Like I said, these guys are great in their own minds, but I don't feel that those two could step foot in a ring together and put on a match the quality of the matches that we talked about.
But even if they could, they're not giving the chance. Because 12 hours in editing, you know, that's not a great – tell me how many hours and how much editing we needed for Guerrero and Malenko in 95.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is
in a bingo hall.
Deep down, WWE knows that they can't put these two guys that are late in their 40s and have them put on an Omega Okada match, a Steamboat Macho Man match,
then don't bother calling it the greatest match ever.
Exactly.
It's that simple. Stop blowing smoke up people's asses. That's why you're not getting people to watch you. That's why we're not very excited for this pay-per-view, but we came on to cover this anyway for our lovely fans and our followers on Twitter and our subscribers, because maybe you are, and that's cool. I'm not saying you shouldn't be, because there's some good stuff in here. Like Drew and Bobby is going to be good. Asuka and Nia has potential. Apollo and Andrade could steal the goddamn show. There are some good matches, but overall, I'm just not very excited for this pay-per-view.
Peter said, he goes, yeah, even the old Boiler Room matches was just literally two guys and a cameraman, letting them beat each other up backstage, and it still
Thanks,
felt
Peter.
Amen.
Amen, dude. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Like short, sweet, beautiful.
I mean, one of the most awesome matches I'd ever seen was an indie match. It was Keith Lee versus Angelus Lane, where he basically murdered a woman in the ring, and it was a great match. And it was indie show in a fire station, basically no budget, you know, and it was great. There was no need for all this extra.
And we will never see something like that in WWE. Never.
No.
Because
this we'll get him killing Gargano.
You know.
I think we've beaten this horse to a pulp.
Yeah. I do know we had.
This one's deader than the Boneyard match.
I do know we might have one or two. We might have one or two more keep it or kill it. So while we get those in, and then we'll just sign off and have a good time with the rest of our day. One of them was something that Evan had brought up a little bit in the midst of our picks and conversation, and it goes like this: keep it or kill it. AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental title should have been saved for Backlash.
Keep it.
I say keep it, but at the same time,
that's hot.
Sorry.
I say keep it, but I think they knew what they were doing because they knew that match was going to outshine the greatest wrestling match of all time.
That's hot. That's hot.
You're not wrong.
Probably
yeah, fair.
And then
but why not in that same breath? Why not save it for Backlash and tell people that's going to be the greatest match of all time?
Because
then maybe
it's not
people will
Edge
believe
and
you.
Orton.
Yes, but it's still Daniel Bryan and
he
AJ
hasn't waited
Styles.
9 years in retirement or whatever the story is. I don't even know.
They could have used some other angle with Edge and Orton. They could have used, this whole big feud. They could have used this big emotional thing. They could have played on that. They didn't have to call it. They could have called that Intercontinental title match the greatest match ever. And people might have been like, you know what? It could be. Because it's Daniel Bryan and AJ freaking Styles.
Yeah.
These guys can go. They have put on gems. They had another one on SmackDown. And congratulations to AJ. But at the same time, you could have probably had that at Backlash and called it the greatest match ever. And maybe people would have believed it. So I'm going to say keep it, of course.
That's hot. That's hot.
And, Brucey kept it. So.
That's hot. That's hot.
On to Evil Evan. Let's take a trip to Evil Manor. Do your thing, buddy.
Yeah. It should have been on. They should have saved it for the pay-per-view. That Intercontinental title, if you're trying to push it to be a big deal, and you just rebranded the whole new belt, gave it a whole new look. That shit should have been on display with the big pay-per-view entrance, and they should have had a big confetti like they did for EO. Like making this big deal. What's the point of having this tournament and crowning a new champ? And it wasn't even the main event on SmackDown. You got some random people teaming up. So
because multi-man matches.
Open the show with it. You have the confetti celebration. They come out, they cheer, then you clean it up, and the next match, Garza or whoever comes out next.
And if I can go back, that EO moment was still just like, it almost felt like a Japan ROH kind of moment with all the confetti falling and everything. Like, it was so good. But yeah, I figured Evil Evan would keep it, and he did.
That's hot. That's hot.
So therefore, we got to say it's
awesome.
So, since we're doing a keep it and kill it, I got one. And it was a tweet that I actually posted in the chat. And it's something that's been pretty hot and talked about in group. We're talking about, I believe, Wendy, you posted the Workhorse stable.
Oh, yeah.
In the group with Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak. So my main bro posted on Twitter, or maybe it was Instagram. I can't remember. It was one of the two.
It was on social media.
And he basically said, how would you guys feel about a reunion with me and Drew Gulak along with Daniel Bryan? So are we actually going to see that Workhorse stable? And will it work with Matt Riddle? Keep it or kill it?
Oh, man.
I think we'll see it. But the E will find a way to make it not work. And they'll be like, well, he's too casual for these guys, or some BS thing like that. And they're going to figure out a way
to... he's too laid back.
Yeah. Like, it'll start off great, and like they always do. Something's going great. The fans are liking it. Time to squish it.
All right, so Wendy said keep it, but they're going to go squish, which is...
that's hot. That's hot.
I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I could see I could see Matt Riddle kind of get back together with Gulak and Daniel Bryan being in it. Like that would be a great, just old school technical, faction. I would also like to put Chad Gable in it as Chad Gable and not that stupid fucking gimmick they gave him.
Oh my God,
I'm not even gonna
No,
grace
we
it.
don't acknowledge that name.
Like,
Fuck
but,
you,
but
Baron
yeah,
Corbin.
I'm not saying take somebody out. I'm saying put those three and put Gable in there too, and then you have a true like workhorse in ring faction. So yeah, fucking keep it.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
All right. Evil Evan, what you got?
The little angel on this side right here is like, hell yeah, do it, dude. That'd be an amazing faction because you guys are like workhorses. But then the little angel on this side, I got two angels. There's no devils here. I got another little angel
somehow
right
he's
here.
evil.
He's telling me, somehow this guy's telling me, nah, man, Matt Riddle. Same thing with I was on that Killer Cross train. I'm on the Matt Riddle bro train. He should be going after the title. And if he's in this faction, I see that being like a mid-card faction. Battling Cesaro, battling Nakamura. When I want bro to come in and straight flip-flop in the face of Braun Strowman and be like, what, bro? Like,
that would be great.
He's like on a pedestal. He's a legit UFC fighter who knocks guys on their asses and got paid to do it. This guy should not be, I get it, he's the bro, he's comedy, he's laid back. But when it comes down to ding, 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 there's the bell, he should be knocking dudes on their asses. He should be going for that title. And that's my only trepidation is that this stable, it won't go anywhere. It's just going to be stagnant. First two segments of SmackDown, but nothing beyond the main event. And I don't want that for the bro. The bro needs a skyrocket. He needs to light that skyrocket.
Okay, so Evil Evan's killing it. All right, Brucey, what you got for this one, bro?
I think I'm on the same. I actually agree with both Wendy and Evan. Like, I can keep it because I see it happening, but I'm with Evan. Like, I want to see that rocket strapped to friggin' Riddle and just shoot to the top. And I see it getting done, but being squashed early. So, yeah, I'll keep it.
Okay, I was wondering for a second.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Yeah, the thing that gets to me is obviously Matt and Vinny have had their problems in the last few years. Backstage stuff, social media stuff, and I think Jose brought it up in the last episode. Whereas Triple H could kind of protect him from all that and give him a decent push and everything else. Vince is going to look for revenge.
Yep. For tweeting at Goldberg and Lesnar and
having the altercation with Lesnar behind the scenes at one of the pay-per-views.
With Goldberg.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The one where Goldberg
Vince,
was like, I don't know him, and he was like, you know me, we met.
Even
bro.
though
like,
I think we'd all agree that like Vince is probably wrong. He's also in charge, and he has a bone to pick with our resident bro. And so to see him in that faction, I'm with Evil Evan, where it could kind of just be mid card, opening couple segments and then removing Riddle so that they can kind of like get him beat down and squashed, and Vince can get his pound of flesh out of him.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's WWE, and that's probably what's going to happen.
Have they ever? I'm sorry, my memory's not the greatest. You kids know why. But have they ever outright showed? Have they ever outright said that Riddle is a legit cage fighter and showed footage? I know we've seen footage of Shayna.
No, he's from the UFC.
He's from the UFC.
WWE showed it.
They've
shown footage of Shayna.
When he debuted.
They've never showed footage of him.
In NXT, they never showed actual footage, but when he debuted, they used to talk about how he came straight from UFC. They brought it up here and there throughout his run in NXT. They have yet to bring it up in his highlight packages, like in WWE.
Yeah.
So it looks like maybe they're kind of sweeping that under the rug, like whatever.
Kurt Angle was out there reading cue cards about how great he is. Like, he is the greatest. He is the fighter. But they should have been having, like, the knockout reel. Like, if I go to YouTube and Google Matt Riddle UFC, I'm going to see, like, guys dropping.
Oh, yeah. You're going to see him jaw-jacking people, you know,
yeah,
straight up.
They mentioned that he's a fighter, but, I mean,
like, he did stuff in UFC that makes the stuff he did to Timothy Thatcher look tame, you know? So.
It's just like you try to portray Shayna as this like unbeatable beast, and you show the footage. You have Bobby, who you're mentioning he's a Strike Force fighter, blah blah blah. But not really.
Again,
like,
it only works.
Not a heavyweight.
It only works if they have it. I don't know how to put it. It only works if Vinny has a hard on for you, and then you're the badass, and then you're the legacy, and then you're whatever. It works for Charlotte Flair. It doesn't work for Natalya Neidhart. It works for Shayna Baszler. It doesn't, and Ronda Rousey. It doesn't work for Matt Riddle because Vinny likes some people and some people he don't. So therefore, when he likes you, you're a legacy. When he doesn't, you're a cat lady. When he likes you, you're a UFC badass. When he doesn't, you're some goofy bro with flip-flops. It's just the way that it goes. And go back. If you don't believe me, go back and look. Like, Asuka is a legitimate badass, and they have her out here doing these funny dances and screaming in Japanese when she speaks perfect English, you know, but you never really see that badass side of her. They never really talk about her history outside of the company. They never really bring it up. They just bury it. But then when Ronda Rousey shows up, oh, well, she's a badass. She's the baddest woman on the planet. She's this, she's that. Man. And she left you in 8 months. That was a quick romance, Vinny. Yeah, and who's still around? Oh, wait, Asuka. Who knew? You know, it's just if Vinny likes you, then whatever your background is, he's going to push. If he doesn't, he's going to bury it, and he's going to bury you. Sorry, I don't make the rules. I just know them. I watch this shit. Even if I fall asleep watching this shit, like Grandma Wendy and I do on Raw, just, like when they talk about the ratings, I want to know how many of those millions were sleeping with the TV on.
Yeah.
You know, I can hear Stone Cold in my head. Boring. Yeah. But yeah, I do want to see Matt Riddle get a good push on NXT. I really do. I got to be honest. I didn't really like him at first. Like, I had seen him in the cage. I thought he was a good fighter. And then the character I thought was just like goofy, and it took me a while. But now that I've gotten used to it, like, I love that dude. I'd love to see him get pushed on SmackDown. I'd love to see him in a ring with Braun. I would.
Tonight's pay-per-view already shows us the lack of depth in the SmackDown title contenders pool. So Riddle is definitely a shot in the arm. I mean, I'd rather have him than the Miz.
But there's a lack of depth in the pool there because Vinny likes Roman, he's gone. And then there's all these other guys who are legitimate badasses, whether it's Riddle or Shinsuke or whoever, that are just there, but Vinny doesn't really have a whole lot of like for you. So therefore, you just sit there and do next to nothing, or you have these goofy gimmicks, or you sit around and say, no speak of English. You know, it's you know, it's just the way that it goes. Like, they don't have a deep pool of contenders because they've made it that way. They have a deep pool of talent. They have tons of contenders. They have people that aren't well liked by Vinny, and Bruce Pritchard is just like, okay, whatever you say, boss. And now he's going to do that on Raw, so I can't wait for that.
Well, with that being said.
And now that that's over, I hope you enjoy Backlash.
On that note.
Like, God, you know, I'm trying, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just when I hear stuff like this, you know, especially Felipe and guys in our group saying, you know, these sort of things, like, I'm with you. I really am. It's hard for me to just sit here and pretend like this is going to be the greatest show ever. I can't do it. I can't. Not the greatest show ever. I'd love to tell you it is. I'd be excited if it was. I can't. I'm not. I'm sorry. So, with that being said,
I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Nah, I can't. I'm not good at sugarcoating. I'm a psycho. Psychos don't sugarcoat. We just don't. We just don't. We bring it right at you because we don't know any other way.
Diabetes. No, thank you.
Nah, I'm not trying to get all that shit. I'm afraid of needles.
My family.
I don't like insulin. Like, nah. I'm gonna keep it real with you. There's no sugarcoating. Yeah. So now that we've gotten all that out, and I think we've gotten through all our keep it or kill it's and all our topics, and we've made all our picks, we will have a thread for this pay-per-view tonight, and we hope you guys that are watching at Facebook show up. And if you want to, if you see this on YouTube once I publish it, and you want to come in and maybe ream us for something that we said, or just join and see if the show is any good, come to Top Rope on Facebook. We're a publicly traded group. And you can you can also follow us at Top Rope WT on Twitter. You can go to Fox Den Productions on YouTube if you're watching this right now and you haven't, wink wink, and subscribe to us. We have tons of episodes of this show. We've also started up 2 other shows with Mutant Rejects, which I will be recording tonight, which is great. It's all kinds of like Marvel, X-Men, MCU kind of stuff. A little bit of DC here and there. Lots of nerdy shit, lots of reports and updates on how certain people will be brought into certain movies and that type of thing. It's fun. And then we also have Drunk Upon a Time, with just a bunch of people getting together, having drinks, cracking jokes, telling stories, and basically giving you whatever's on their mind at the time. There's not really a certain topic one way or the other. I know some of these guys in our group saw the Drunk Upon a Time, like 5-hour Odyssey.
Drunk upon a top rope.
Drunk upon a top rope, which is even better. Don't be drunk upon a top rope. That's dangerous. Ask Jeff Hardy.
Slippery part of the
Too soon? I mean, yeah, it's dangerous. But we did it. We did it for a good 5 hours, and we had a lot of fun with it. Showed guys what the show is about, and people seem to dig it. So definitely come to Fox Den Productions, subscribe, ring the bell, like the episodes when you're watching them. Leave the comments below. Always, if you have a problem or you want to agree or you want something we said, leave the comment below. We might discuss it on the next episode. We've done it before. I brought up the whole thing where Kadri had said on our last episode in the YouTube thing that, like, oh, by the way, those masked luchadors, they're working for Phantasma. And it turns out the dude was right. So I'm not ashamed to say good job, give you credit, whatever, like that, attaboy, hey. And if you talk shit on us, we'll be happy to jump on this meeting and talk shit right back. I don't know if you noticed this, we're pretty good at talking shit.
Yeah.
And then we have the Instagram, which was Bruce's baby. I feel like I should let him do it because he's just sitting there like, you're welcome. He's like, hey, you named it a tongue twister, okay?
I had to. I had to. There was no way around it. So you can find us on the gram. It's at top_rope_wrestling_talk. Come on there. Hook up, check out our memes, check out our comments, check out our Top Rope Wrestling Corner that we have, and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, it's a great place. We got Evil Evan originals up there. We got some of my goofy shit up there. We're trying to get Bruce and Wendy to come up with some high class grandma shit to put up there.
I did yesterday.
Oh, cool. I forgot about that. Honestly, it's been a long week.
I'll get to it.
And so with all that being said, no, we're good. We're about to get out of here. So for Grandma Wendy, for the evil one, for the high class Mark, and of course from your boy the Psycho, thank you for showing up. Enjoy Backlash, and we will catch you probably next week with the crossover episode with Clark Street Wrestling. So that's going to be fun.
Yep.
Enjoy that, guys. We will catch you soon. Peace.
Deuces.
Love you guys. Thank you for showing up.
I do the heart. Like that? The heart?
Yeah, that's good. Oh, I only got half a heart.
Right here, y'all.
Like a butt. It's more like a butt.
Yeah.
Butt you.
There we go.
Butt you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, butt you.
Sim Squad Fly Boys, that's my logo. You already know though. It's PBS and Nation Gang. My niggas getting dodo. You pussy niggas, Frodo's fucking hobos looking so. Okay, shot in slow-mo, haters salty like adobo. But Coco, we get loco. Hit them cash is so no. You rap it, then we live it, cause we Stokely on the promo. We classy, ready, blasty, bitches, why you acting sassy? Can't stop and I won't stop. some spastic. You ashy, I'm so flashy. Talking out your ass, goddammit, I'm just speaking cash shit. Haters get the shake it like they mama named the caption. Father, all these rap wrestlers pay homage to me bastards. Sorry, I don't claim you. That's just what this fame